Hello, one more time. This is the third time that I'm doing this video today. I'm having a lot of connectivity issues, but hey, that's not an excuse anyhow. I know you're waiting for this series. So, how you doing? My name is Johan Streda. This is our 20th day in the Awaken Your Spiritual Neurons Empires uh, 21-day challenge. Okay, so today what I want to cover real brief is um, the three key elements that we need to consider in order to jump into a transformational process. Okay, uh, all of the series, of course, they have been a sequence of discoveries in your mind, right? At the same time, you have been uh, maybe questioning yourself about the old paradigms or beliefs that you used to have. And at this point in time, you're probably questioning, okay, so what is next, right? Because one thing is when you read the book and you follow the steps, but the other thing is when you actually put everything into practice, okay? And here's the thing, right? I mean, here's the secret. We, in some way, the 21-day challenge series that we have done, this is the 20th, right? But every day we have been going through a little bit of a transformational process. We have been rethinking or refeeling, evaluating certain things in our mind. I have actually passed through that process as well. Believe me, I mean, as you know, in the way that I've been recording, right? Every single one of the series has actually caused an effect, positive, of course, on my own ways of thinking, right? So, so one of the things that I want you to make to have clear is that any transformational process, I mean, it's not a 21-day challenge that is going to solve your issues, but it's going to give you the motion. It's going to give you the traction, to start making the changes that you need in order to succeed, in order to get you to where you really want to go, right? Let's call it you want to change your eating habits. Let's say that you want to quit smoking. Let's say that you're addicted to some sort of substance or alcohol or whatever, and you want to really pass through the process, okay? But here's the thing, you have to be eager to do that, right? You have to really want to do this and be aware of the fact that this is a process, is a process that at some points in time is not comfortable. See, one of the portions in the book that, of course, I didn't put it into the series because you're gonna have the chance to read it, is the hero's journey, right? The hero's journey of the process. And when you know that you are called to an adventure, you have to recognize that you're going to face several challenges. You're going to face situations like me, for instance, today. This is the third time that I'm doing this video, right? And I have faced the challenge, of course, of dealing with internet. But the thing is, how am I responding? Sorry, my English is a little bit awkward today. How am I responding to that situation, right? I mean, like, should I leave it as it is, or should I try it one more time and try to do it better, right? Well, that's what I'm trying to do. So, of course, I can feel my spirit right now. There was a little bit less of energy this morning, I guess because of the frustration of the internet. But this is what I want you to notice. I want you to notice that my process is just an example of what you actually face when you're going into the mood of changing from your old self image to a new, higher, and elevated image and aspect of yourself. Whatever it is that you are doing to become a better person, it requires patience. It requires, you know, time to process and to digest. So we're going to talk about three things that are very important in this transformational process, right? Now that you have gone through all those new learnings, all those new experiences, right? It's time for you to make your choice, right? I mean, everything that we do in life is about choices, right? And whether we have done the wrong choices in the past, now it is the opportunity for us to test ourselves, right? And start making the right choices. That's the beauty of transformation, right? That's the beauty of becoming a better person, making the right choices. The right choices for whom? That's the question. For you. Not for your neighbor, not for your family, not for your kids, not for your boss, for you. What are the choices that you are taking in order to move forward to whatever it is that you want to accomplish, whatever it is that you want to evolve or to overcome, right? So that's number one. Number two, rituals. What are the things that you are going to do or that you are already doing early in the morning as part of your daily routines, right? To connect yourself with your emotions, with your thoughts, with your spirit, and with your physical condition that will help you, pass through the day. Because the day, believe it or not, I mean, it can be an awful day, it can be a rainy day, but we can choose to be happy, right? Or, I mean, it can be a day full of, you know, beautiful flowers, and we don't really have to choose to be happy. We experience being happy just because it's sunny. Like right now, it is nice and sunny. Um, so those are the things, again, choices, but also what are the daily things that you are implementing in your life, right, to help you not only do changes but also to practice those changes. In other words, what is it that is going to give you the motivation to go through the day without judging someone? What is it that is going to help you emotionally, right? To go through your day and not take any feelings from other people's personal. What is it that you're going to do to connect your higher self, your spirit, with God, with the universe, in order to make your dreams come true? And not only that, experience a state of peaceful mind during the day so you don't get absorbed by the negative energy of the others or by the negative energies of the environment, right? And also, what are you going to do physically, right? What is it that you are going to put and prepare your body in the morning, right? In order to make sure that your body is actually producing energy, right? This is very critical. This is important. Okay. Um, so those are the things in terms. This is number two. This is rituals. The third thing, right, that we need to take into consideration for any transformational process. Now that we are aware of the things that we don't want in our life, right, we need to be aware that there are going to be times where all behaviors, all attitudes, patterns, um, maybe addictions, they're going to knock on your door and they're going to test you. Oh, yeah, they are. Just like it's happening, it's been happening the last 2 days with me, right? So, what is it that I'm going to do in order to choose how do I respond to the outside situations or the issues from the outside world? And here are a couple of things that I want you to take into account. Of course, you can come up with other stuff, but I want to give you some of the critical examples that I have lived in my personal experience in transformation, because they are really thieves. They really can mess up, with your life, okay? And I want to be very clear and open on this ones, okay? The number one that today in our society um, steals our true self identity is called social media. And I'm going to tell you why. Um, we live by the perceptions, or we live under the perception of other people's lifestyles. We live under the perception, and we somehow unconsciously we like to compare in our minds, uh, that person has this and I don't have it. Hmm. I'm wondering how can I get it? Or maybe, no, that person, I mean, that person is full of shit. I mean, she shouldn't actually be wearing that. That's not possible. You know, social media is actually feeding our mind with so many mechanisms of defense and so many behaviors that, I mean, we take it personally. There are people, and I used to be one of them, that, believe it or not, I used to take it personally when I made a post, right? And I didn't find too many likes. And I took it personally. I say, well, I mean, guess what? Nobody likes me because people didn't like my post. So here's the thing, we're depending on social media, right? To be not only like our best friends, but also, we're using it as a tool to falsely, you know, appear or have the appearance that we are happy. But we are dealing with all these conflicts here in our mind. We're getting crazy about, the things that people do and the things that we're not able to do, or we want just to compete. We want to do so many things in social media just to make others feel bad, right? And here's the thing, right? Social media, like everything, it has a good purpose also, right? The thing is being aware and recognizing why are you using social media and what are you using it for, right? So if you're using it just to gossip, or just to compare yourself, or just to tell how big your family is, right? Okay, yeah, well, yeah, you are socializing. Maybe you are telling people that live far away from you, just to show them that you're well. Okay, those are things that are relative, right? And you know, you have to be aware of what is the purpose of using the social media. But also, I mean, it's like you're using it socially, to establish connections. You can use it for professional connections. You can use it to empower people. And when I'm talking about empowering, I'm not talking about just going to the gym and taking a selfish, right? And say, oh, I mean, like, here, these are my muscles. I need to show to people that I'm big, that I'm strong, you know. Uh, and what you got to do is you got to do 25 sit ups, and you got to do this and you got to do that in order to be like me. That is, a hidden message of inferiority. And I'm telling you this because I used to be like that. And that caused me so much pain. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, when I finished posting and stuff like that, guess what my mind was doing? Right? I was creating a circle in my mind that was saying, I shouldn't be doing that. I feel guilty, maybe, and I was in that conflict until it came to a point that I say, you know what? I mean, I cannot take Facebook or Instagram so personally to the level that it affects my emotions. Why? Because Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, they do not define who I am. That is a critical fact. Now, the other thing is many people are doing courses, bunch of workshops. Internet is crowded with that, and that is actually good. But here's one thing that you need to start paying attention a little bit more closely, which are called the false gurus. False gurus are the people who actually, have been in a situation in which they show, that they got rich in a matter of weeks, and before they show a story, a real story, that they were, homeless, or they were passing through this situation or whatever, and because they followed some sort of methodology, or they discover, some sort of things, they actually did it and that worked out, and boom, they got rich from one day to the other one. People, that is something that, it, doesn't really happen. I mean, remember what we said at the beginning, right? Everything is, in terms of change, is a process. It takes time for you to change, your self-image to a better version of yourself. It really does take time. It's not something that you just like click, you switch. No. You know why? Because it depends on the experiences that you have had in the past. So if you have had too many repetitive stories that you have been telling to yourself, to your mind, too many invasive thoughts that you have been having for the last 20 years, don't expect to change 20 years of crap that you have been putting in your mind, right, in 2 days. It's not going to happen. Seriously, it's not. I've tried it and no. If you have the answer to that, please let me know. Okay. But honestly, I'm not trying to sell you into anything, and I'm not trying to, give you the bad news of whatever it is, the habit that you have, but that is a reality that we all live, right? The other thing is be careful with marketing. Okay. Marketing, we live in a world that, of course, marketing, used properly can help you promote your services and your products, right? But here's the thing, there are a lot of marketing campaigns that they send subliminal messages to sell you something that implies in your mind that something is wrong with you. This can be a product, it can be a course, it can be a service, it can be whatever, right? Pay attention to those messages. And this is not something that, I mean, you're not going to read in the big letters. You need to start paying attention to the small letters of the marketing campaigns, right? Because in reality, what is happening is, people sell you all sorts of crap that, you use for what, 2 days, maybe 3 days, and then after a while you never use it back and you lost a lot of money. I used to do that a lot, and now today when I feel that, my finances are like, I'm like, oh my god, I shouldn't be buying this, I shouldn't be buying that. Guilt, right? So be careful, because marketing is also a tool for emotional and psychological manipulation. Okay. And I'm not saying that you don't have to buy. Okay. Don't twist my words. I'm not saying that you have to run away from technology, right? No. What I'm saying is learn to be detached from the outcome of marketing, and learn also to set your priorities as to what are the things that you use and why do you use them. So set up an intention, set up a purpose in that, right? Now the other thing is the past. um, the biggest, besides social media of course, but one of the biggest thieves of our true self identity is lie makes us prisoners to whatever it is, because you learn it from um, from society, from school, even from your family. I'm sorry to say that, but that's a reality that it happens, right? I mean, we get educated in some sort of way that we need to act this way and we need to do this and we need to do that, right? Because only in that way we are going to be successful. But the reality is that those conditions, right, they don't have to be your conditions, right? In such a way that you can transform, your decisions, right? Not to make wrong actions or to express bad attitudes. On the contrary, what you want to do is to you. And it doesn't really matter what it is that you need to do in order to, to change. If you need to change your environment, if you need to change from a place or location or whatever, if you need to, sometimes if you need to cut with a relationship, not because the other person is bad or anything like that, but because you need to take care of your emotional, your mental, your spiritual, and your physical condition, that becomes what is called self love, self respect. Okay. So it doesn't serve you, to live in the past from the traditions or from the beliefs that your mind has constructed. Many of them, I can tell you, that is not even things that people have conditioned into you. Sometimes it happens when you do a real deep analysis, you're going to find out that there's a lot of things that you end up constructing in your mind. And I'm going to give you a very brief example. In my story of life, I developed, I constructed in my mind the feeling and the sensation that I was abandoned. And because there were several aspects of my life, especially on my 3 years old when my mother died, right? I really felt abandoned, and I didn't have any idea what was the meaning of being abandoned. I just felt that I was lonely, that nobody understood me, and I grew up conditioned to that belief. I didn't tell anybody about that. And then when I grew up and I start feeling, the pains of the condition that I have created in myself in terms of abandonment, right? I realized, and it took me a while to actually accept that nobody in that sense abandoned me, right? I mean, nature is nature, and we all have to accept the fact that one day we're going to die, right? Same way that our parents die, we're gonna die at some point in time. So of course, for a kid, it was a little bit difficult, but it comes also to a time intrinsic to the laws of nature that there's nothing that you can do to control that situation, right? So those are the beliefs that when you don't have them clear, when you don't have them conscious on your mind, you know, they can do a lot of struggle. And I'm telling you this because of my own pure experience, right? So just, wrapping up, what I want you to do for today is I want you to, first of all, have very clear the choices that you're making from now on, all right? Because at this point in time that you have had a lot of knowledge and you have had actually passed through this 21 series or 20 series. Tomorrow is going to be the 21st and final. Um, but be very clear on where do you want to position yourself. I mean, at this moment is the moment that you have to actually choose whether you remain in the same old you, or you really start taking actions to move yourself forward, and you really start making the adjustments in your mind to change your mindset, to start being more gentle with yourself, to start self-respecting yourself, right? Those are things that you really want to start, that you are going to use every day to empower your day. And something spiritual, something emotional, something mental, and something physical. So try to find something that you can do to energize your body, something to connect spiritually with God, with the universe, with whatever it is that you believe in. Um, Try to come up with something to feel. It can be a song. It can, something that I am actually using, to activate my feelings is I listen to very specific, high empowering songs. One of my favorite ones is Dancing to the Light from Phil Collins. I really feel, that I am a being of light, that I am alive, that I am, shaking with the light that resides within me. So I am actually working both my spirit, and at the same time I'm working my emotions because I'm choosing to have the proper elevated feelings, right? And the other thing is to work my mental wellness. I have a list of 20 positive affirmations that every day, when I wake up, between the time that I go running and even though when I come back, I repeat them loud. I am abundant. I am protected by God. I believe in myself. I am powerful enough to go through the day. I am a creative mind. Whatever it is that you want to empower yourself with your own self affirmations, try to come up with affirmations not copied from the email or anything like that. Put your mind into the creative mode, right? Something that is yours that you can start feeling. because that is what eventually is going to, take you into the mood of practicing the daily routines. And the other list that I want you to do is I want you to do a list of all the things that you notice in your day that are killing your time. For instance, social media. Maybe that's something that you want to include in your not to do list, or to reduce the time of consumption of social media. Maybe you want to stop watching TV, right? That's a no to do. Maybe watching porn. Hey, put it or potato chip, whatever, right? I mean, do the not to do list, write it down, because those are the thieves of your true self identity. Okay. So, once again, thank you so much for this time. I hope this one will be the third one and final attempt for this video today. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be good. Anyhow, I'll see you on the next series. It's the final series where we're going to kind of like wrap it up, and you're going to be ready to face the world in magnificent and magical moments, right? Because remember that you're not only, you know, a higher version of yourself, you are a being of light, you are a resignified or reinvented version of yourself, and you are about to start experiencing life in totally, totally different and better ways, for you to get abundance, for you to be happy, to get a relationship, whatever it is. So God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, even in whatever you are. And I'll see you in the next series.